try and get rooftop gardens on there. And like our angle is if we have like at least 3 to 4 growing seasons, that can help our local economy. We won't have to depend so much on outer sources. There's a man up there that was just laid off, and he's laid off every year for the winter because his work is seasonal. So that would bring more jobs in as well for like working in greenhouses. And if we had multiple greenhouses all throughout London, there'd be like a lot more options for people like that who don't have work in the winter.
One of the things that we were on to quite some years ago was the 100-mile diet. And we actually had a 100-mile dinner here. It was an organization, a caterer, who catered to that 100-mile concept. It was a wonderful meal. It was nutritious, and we managed to engage farmers right in the immediate area.
And it also protects our food from Monsanto as well.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a profound concern, the whole genetically modified fruits and vegetables and well, just about everything that comes across our table. I think that getting rid of the wheat board in Western Canada is part and parcel of the clout of these huge multinationals.
I read an article, it was they wanted to dismantle the wheat board.
Yes.
What would happen to it then? I mean, how would that work? How can you just dismantle such a big...
The remains or the remnants of the wheat board is suing the federal government because the legislation that created the wheat board was very clear that it could only be dismantled by a majority vote of the member farmers. And they never really got the vote. The outcome was 60% of the farmers who cast ballots said they wanted to maintain the wheat board, and the federal government said, well, you know, it wasn't a legitimate vote, and so we're not even going to accept it. And that's the basis of the legal battle that is going on right now. We'll find out in the next couple of years, and it could be quite difficult for those. It's a tough climate out there. One year you've got floods, the next year you've got drought, and there's no certainty about crops at the best of times. When the vote occurred, they brought in a huge crowd of people. The galleries were full, but those weren't ordinary farmers. Those were representatives from Cargill and the Chicago wheat grain marketing. It was the big multinationals and their representatives who were there applauding. One of the real concerns that we now have with this trade agreement that they're negotiating behind closed doors with the Europeans. It's the Canada-Europe trade agreement. We don't know a lot of the details, but what is starting to be leaked out makes us very worried. Let's say a pharmaceutical company in Europe wants to supply pharmaceuticals here, and we want to go with generics. They, under this new CETA agreement, can sue the government for undermining their ability to make profits in the same way that American companies can sue us under NAFTA. It looks like the CETA agreement also says that local governments, when they put out a tender, can't give preference to the industries and service providers in their own backyard. They have to consider the European providers, and if they don't, then they